Welcome, this is Gone Gaming, and this is my first episode at Marvel Strike Force University. That's the best name we can come up with. If you have new tips or ideas for what I should change my name to, let me know. But look, I feel like there's a lot of streamers out there that do a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of stuff way better than I'll ever do it. But something I really feel like has been missing in the game is coverage for mid-tier players on how to have an end game-like experience, right? Because I feel like most of us don't have unlimited resources, unlimited budgets. We feel rather constrained. It's hard to decide what to do. So today is going to be the first episode in that, and it's going to be talking all about war because that's my role in our alliance. And I just kind of want to talk to you guys about that. So first things first, I want to talk about 5 strategies for war. Number 1, pick your top 10 teams and put them on offense. Those are the ones you're going to be playing, and there's a lot of reasons for this. So number 1, you can come here, click on the filter button, and then click on this button. That'll take you to your save squads. These are all my squads. And I like to think of this for a few reasons. Number 1, offense is worth more points than defense. Like if you get a defensive win, you don't actually get points. You're just preventing points. And eventually you're probably going to lose that team if you start getting attacked. There's more characters available for your offense, right? So I have approximately 33 save squads. I need to go back through. I just unlocked Colleen Wing, so I need to go through and reorganize all of them. But I have about 33 squads times 5 is a whole bunch. It's 165 different units, right? So on defense, I can only put 40 of those. So I'm just never going to get that much value. And on offense, I can almost always get 10 attacks in each war. You get 8 free energy, and then you can get 2 more refreshes pretty cheap out of just, casually blitzing, being a milestone blitzer, and getting the blitz, using those refreshes in the blitz store. So focus instead on your top 10 offensive teams. That's where the value is. Second off, it's easy to punch up in war, and we're going to cover that later on. But as long as you have a good matchup, you can trade your fewer resources, your less time in the game, your less focused characters. You can trade those up against the opponent and get really good return on your investment. So your top 10 teams, when you're in a punch-up, which we've been in our alliance, the last 3 wars have been, I think, 48 million TCP punch-up, 28 million TCP punch-up, and 45 million TCP punch-up. It's just been a slog. We won 2 out of 3 of those, and the third one was on Gold Gate. Which I guess we're going to have to come up with a new name for, but Runaway Gold Gate. Anyway, here's my top 10 teams. You guys are probably going to be different than mine, but I'm a mid-game player, so some of these are going to be like, that's a top 10 team? Well, that's what I got. Black Order should be number 1. Black Order is the best war offense team, probably tied with Shadowlands right now. Then symbiotes are really good. So Black Order can counter everything. Black Order is especially good at punching up against other Black Orders. If you've played them in Arena, you know how easy that is to do. If you haven't played them in Arena, do that. War really doesn't change much except for their base stats for Black Order. There's no defensive bonuses. There's no offensive bonuses. So it's pretty just straightforward for them. And they're kind of a one-trick pony. After one of the characters dies on defense, Thanos will no longer be empowered, and he's significantly less cool. Okay, anyway. And then we got symbiotes. Symbiotes are really good against Doc Ock, especially if there's Mysterio on the team. Really good against Asgardians. Just kill the Greg 6 times in a row, and that'll get you a net with Carnage's passive. Carnage is getting you 30% speed bar, and then Greg is taking off 10. So if you kill 5, that's a net 100% turn meter. And you might not know this. We'll cover this in some of the MSF University fundamentals, but you can overload turn meter, and it will, like if you go to 150% turn meter, you'll take a turn, and then your next turn, right as immediately after that, you'll have 50% preloaded turn meter. So that's nice. Then I have Guardians of the Galaxy. These really aren't good for much of anything. They pretty much have to punch down against everyone. The one thing that they have going for them is that they can burst down somebody pretty quickly. I still also need to reconfigure some of the ISO on these guys. But the general idea. One other thing about attack teams, you can drop a T4 into them, upgrade them right before you go into an attack. Defense, your teams are locked, and you can't change them. So, I think you also have a slightly more flexibility for offense. That's another thing under my first point. But here's Guardians. They're good for bursting down somebody. Now, I have my Ultron with these 4 as Guardians, mostly for Blitz. But this team, especially with Loki being able to give stealth to Ultron bots, can really carry the day against a lot of other teams, especially when my Heimdall is pretty weak. This team is straight bonkers. X Factor plus Kestrel is just super, super solid. Being able to drop that defense down with Shatterstar and following up with that on Kestrel's passive for 400% damage is just nasty. I killed a Doc Ock the other day. It was like 110k G15 4 red star Doc Ock with this. She was G11 at the time. Kestrel in 3 turns. So first she went. Then Shatterstar went, then Longshot went, and Doc Ock was dead. So that was cool. I didn't hate that at all. Anyway, and then I've got Phoenix here. So that's my top 5 teams right there. Below that kind of falls off a little bit. AIM is just, I had to build them up for Doom Campaign. If you have played Doom Campaign, you know what I'm talking about. Also for villains to get hella farmable. You need them to a certain level, and they do get certain war offense buffs here. She does. Scientist Supreme is kind of all the same. More importantly, is Graviton's passive. So Graviton, when an enemy drops below 5% health, increase the duration of negative effects by 1. That's great. Damage, max health for minions. But in war, reduce speed bar of the enemy with the highest speed by 25%. Very nice to just kind of slow things down a little bit, let you take a turn so that Scientist Supreme can go first. And then in war, when an enemy drops below 75% health, apply Disrupted. So it's a good way to just shut down a taunting tank protector unit. So he's really, really good for that. And then some of the other characters also get some small buffs for war offense as well. But that's why I like AIM on offense as opposed to defense. Although technically, for Graviton, which I think is the most important, it's just in war. So you could theoretically use him on defense. He's just, those disrupts are very situational, and you really want to be the one driving. And super weirdly, I got a whole bunch of red stars on them too. So they're on my top 10, mostly just because of power level. Then this team is really just Zemo. Zemo does everything except for kill Black Order. He's pretty solid. He's a little bit better with Red Skull, but I like Red Skull on defense. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then I've got X-Force and Shadowlands. Both of these guys are really good. I need to invest a bit more into them, especially White Tiger and Night Nurse, and Negasonic and X-23. But we're getting there. And then last but not least, I also have just some stray characters here, mostly just Namor and Minerva's on defense, and Skilletary. Sorry, this needs to get moved back up. So Skilletary is my other top 10 war offense team. And I had these previously arranged from in a ascending order, mostly for Blitz. But lately I just find myself jamming Go on Blitz even without looking at the team too much. So I'm just instead having my top 10 war offense teams so I can look at them readily, and then having this Skilletary team as a kicker. Skilletary is really good against Mercs. But mine clearly needs work, so we'll get there. All right, so those are my suggestions for offense. Now for defense, there's a couple of suggestions. So all your top teams go on offense except for Marauders, just because they have war defense buffs. Right now, Silver Surfer. So I like Minerva on here instead of Sabretooth, and then I like Silver Surfer with Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, Crystal, and Coulson as well on defense, though that's probably going to change now that Heroes for Hire are here. And then Heroes for Hire is the other one. I don't even have a save squad for them because I just barely unlocked Culling Wing, but they'll go here. And then I really like Wave 1 Avengers as well, so they're really solid. And Ghost as a standalone character, Doc Ock as a standalone character, are both also very, very good on defense. So those are kind of the notable exceptions where, you know, the AI plays them well. You don't have to invest a whole lot into the rest of the team for those standalone units, and all of those characters are very, very good in Dark Dimension, so you're going to be building them up anyway. More on that in future videos. So next, key rooms. So I think this is really important for you to know defensively, and it's really important for you to know offensively as well. So I think the biggest, most important room that you can worry about in war is actually your armory. So whether it's a punch up or a punch down, being able to stop the opponent is key. And you really want to slow down their progress by dropping this 20% max health, damage, armor, resistance, and focus on all attacking allies. And then military allies also get an extra 10% bonus, which with skilletary trending up is even more, as a 30% bonus on all these stats for skill military. So having these here is really, really important. And then I think, you know, how you position your rooms to defend these. So this is just a quick look at our war room. You know, for now I'm expecting only you guys in the guild to be watching this anyway, so not a big deal to give away what we're doing. But we'll be covering. We'll be moving this around anyway. I would suggest rotating it like once a month for other channels or other people, just because you frequently get rematched against the same people, and because a lot of people keep pictures of these screenshots in an Excel sheet just so people can see where they're going. But Cargo Bay is really useless. It's just tough to get through because of these random positive effects. Reactor is worth 100 points, but tough to get to because of that disrupt on all attacking enemies. Hanger is a global bonus, but it's just deflect, which is helpful but not super critical because the AI often does dumb things with debuffs, so usually fine. Then Barracks, Medbay. Barracks is the same thing as Armory, but for defenders, and then Medbay is 40% health to all defending allies. And then, so those I think like on the top rooms that are time sensitive, where you want to get them done faster than other rooms, Barracks, Medbay, and Armory are the top three. Now, depending on where those are positioned, security and engineering are clutch in order to get that defense up to those certain rooms, like Bridge or Armory here, as we've positioned it. And then this defense down, we have going over to Medbay as well, just to give that a little extra juice and a little extra protection. So that's basically how I do things, and I do think that, you know, it's good to be thoughtful, do your strategy however you think works best, but yeah, make that work for you. So now onto attack strategies. This is my fourth piece of advice. I think really that you should focus here on, number one, getting the right matchups, and the best way I like to do this, I like to come to our alliance that's called Black MSF Bot, just because that's the name of our alliance. But here you can see exactly, you know, how you can enter something in here. So I just go for tilde, type in C for your counter, and you want to set this all up through msf.gg. If you don't have editor access on your guild, then you're going to want to just go ahead and request that through the Discord leader. But you could type in counter, then you find this. If you just type in C, that's going to go ahead and tell you what all of the shortcut names are. So here we'll say, oh no, we're running into a Black Order team. So Black Order is BO, like body odor. And you just type in the tilde, C, BO, and then whatever the first three digits of the power level are. I guess to the 1000th, whatever the power level is. So we'll say it's like a 600 power Black Order. 600,000. Then you type that in, and it's going to come back and tell me what power levels I would need to punch up, and then also if what power levels in the team I would need to punch down. So this Black Order at 445 is my biggest team. If I was working with armory buffs, I would get really close to this 535, and I can usually punch up pretty successfully against the 600k Black Order, though it can get a little bit dicey. Yeah, clearly my Phoenix and Ultron are not nearly there. My Doc Ock isn't there, and my Inhumans are not there. But these are telling me, because I've logged my info in MSF.gg, what I would need to get it on the left side, and then what I actually have on the right side. So alternatively, if we typed in something here a little bit differently, we'll do Marauders at 350. I must have put in it's Mare, not Made. And you can actually just edit this too. A lot of people don't know this. Just right click, edit, and then it'll come back with the right one. Usually, sometimes not. So, and then when you put this in, it'll come back and tell me, oh look, your Black Order is way overpowered. So you do also want to pay attention to this. So this is my next attack strategy advice is you want to punch exactly. I really want this to be at 321. So what I'll do a lot of times as a captain in our alliance is I'll come in, I'll look at this participation. I can go through and look at each individual player's roster and see what they have on attack. And this tells me, okay, they have all of these units still left over that they can use. All of this is incorrect right now because the war is over. But I can say, oh, okay, look, they have Shadowlands, and I can kind of count that up in my head. These are around 70,000 times 5, that's 350. Right now, the Warbot doesn't have Shadowlands in it, which is a bit unfortunate, so hopefully they update that. But Shadowlands can easily punch across at 350, so I'd be looking for somebody who's around the 300 mark. Just to get that exact punch up and trade teams really well. So I want to preserve as much value as I can, especially early into the war, where you don't want somebody coming in with a 700,000 power Black Order to fight this Marauders team when a 321 will do. Just got to be economical about that. So that's why it's important to kind of pay attention to these numbers, and being able to check that participation roster can be really helpful as well. And then last but not least, just the matchups can matter for what rooms you focus on. If it's a punch up or a punch down, armory is critical because you need to be able to stop them if they're punch up, make them play on your level, so that essentially you have buffed teams using your armory, but they don't have buffed teams using theirs, and that makes it so they have to you'd be working up a hill. That makes it be more on flat ground. If it's a punch down, taking out their armory just makes it so they feel impotent against your teams. They don't have nearly enough juice to get through these, especially against big characters like Ghost, Mr. Sinister, and Emma, Silver Surfer, etc. So something to just kind of keep in mind. And then last but not least, my advice is to have fun in war. I know that I'm not always the best at providing the space for it to be fun, but I'm working on that. That's why I started these videos. It's hard as a captain because you don't want to let people down. You want to make sure that people enjoy the game, and winning is a great way to enjoy it. But something that I like to really think of is pick cool teams. Pick characters that you like playing. You get to use those on offense. If there's somebody that you find just like a bit boring, maybe you play them every day in Arena, like I play Silver Surfer every day in Arena. Silver Surfer then you can just fit on defense. He's a really good character. You want to be a little bit thoughtful about how the AI plays a character, but the AI is pretty smart about Silver Surfer. So he just works well slot on defense. You don't have to worry about it too much. And then the last thing I'd say is just mix things up. You don't have to keep this the same. Right now I'm going to be updating this Silver Surfer squad, even though it's really good. Heroes for hire are the soup of the day, so to speak. Colleen Wing is just really, really good. And I'm excited to see how she plays out on defense. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see my other videos like this. Until next time, though, good luck on the path. And get out there and keep on striking. Bye for now.